And as a consequence of the reciprocal tariffs, luxury stocks have dropped. Following the announcement earlier this month, some experts within the industry saw Trump's election back in November 2024 as potentially boosting luxury sales, as investors noted that the correlation between tax cuts and a strong stock market and the luxury spending would mean that there was going to be more disposable income for those who happen to be high net worth individuals. Due to the more drastic than anticipated tariff announcement, which had rocked the fashion industry, especially the luxury fashion industry in particular, circumstances have changed, especially with investors and the market in general. Just about every fashion item sold in the country will be hit with additional duties, as the US imports more than 98% of its clothing and about 99% of its shoes, luxury items included. There has been a lot of question marks and a lot of concern about how long it would take for the China-founded fast fashion retailer SHEIN to go ahead with its plan for its controversial float on the London Stock Exchange. SHEIN has reportedly filed papers with Britain's market regulators. SHEIN are very hopeful and very optimistic about the British market regulators' policies, but I don't think the British market or the UK-based fashion regulators are very confident with SHEIN's business practices. So it seems like as if SHEIN are trying to pull off a very clever business move with the significant advantages of SHEIN being listed on the London Stock Exchange. This includes access to a vast pool of international capital and a high quality advisory committee that they would be able to have access to, and having a respected regulatory environment which will see them as one of the true leaders within the fast fashion global community, which is leading to an increased visibility, liquidity and potential growth and investment worldwide. So therefore there has been a delay, even though there has been papers which were filed last year in June 2024. A date for a potential float has not yet been confirmed. The valuation of the float has reportedly been cut from the $64 billion plus it had previously hoped for. According to the Financial Conduct Authority, SHEIN is one of the largest fast fashion giants in the global market at the moment. One of the major advantages of the London listing is that UK is one of SHEIN's top 5 markets to take advantage of, since they have a significant market within the UK. This also includes, based on sales in 2023, includes markets in the United States, Germany, UK, as we mentioned, France and Japan. SHEIN has faced scrutiny over its environmental impact and lack of policies and regulation within their factories and third-party audits. There are also concerns about SHEIN's environmental, social and governance ESG credentials, particularly regarding their labour practices and supply chain policies. Because all SHEIN representatives seem to do when they are faced with UK lawmakers is to deny, or be completely incompetent with answering questions about advantages to their vast pool of international capital.
SHEIN and from Timu this afternoon to give us evidence. And Ms. Zhu, perhaps I could just start the questioning with your good self. Could you just tell us, do you source cotton from China?
So SHEIN is a company originated and developed in China, leveraging the Chinese supply chain. We have since grown into a global business with presence in over 150 countries.
But do you source cotton from China today?
So our suppliers, we do not obviously own any manufacturing facilities. Mm-hmm. We work with a wide network of suppliers. Our contract manufacturers, we have manufacturers in China, in Brazil, in Turkey, and we're obviously looking at the other potential supply chain.
In the products that you ship, there is cotton from China?
Like I mentioned, the suppliers we work with, they are based in China, in Turkey and Brazil. Yeah. And obviously many of them are in China.
Okay, this isn't a trick question, it's not a complicated question. In the products that you ship, will there be cotton from China?
So the suppliers we work with, most of them, they're based in regions...
It's actually a yes or no question, actually. Do you think that there is cotton from China in the products that you ship? Yes or no?
My understanding, and also, Chair, with all due respect, While I understand that today's discussion is about international supply chain and upholding labour rights and standards, I can only answer questions as far as my position and responsibility relates to. So I'll do the best I can to answer your questions. To the extent there are details that I'm not able to provide, if you would allow me, we can provide written response after the hearing.
Right, okay. But the first question is there cotton from China in the goods that you sell?
Chair, thank you again for your patience. With all due respect, may I please ask for permission to be able to write to you about the further questions you may have.
You can't tell the committee today whether there is cotton from China in the products that SHEIN sells.
What I'm able to share with the committee, obviously we comply with laws and regulations everywhere we do business in the world. And we have supplier code of conduct, we have robust systems and procedures in place and policies in place, and we also have very strong enforcement measures in place to ensure we adhere to these high standards that are expected in our supply chain, and we take these.
You can't tell the committee today whether there is cotton from China in the products that you sell.
As mentioned, Chair, with all due respect, for detailed operational information and other aspects I'm not able to assist, I will have to write back to the committee afterwards.
But in November 2022, Bloomberg found the presence of cotton from Xinjiang in garments sold by SHEIN on 2 occasions. Are you still using cotton from Xinjiang?
I think in answering a similar question earlier to the Chair, our position is the most important principle for us is we comply with the laws and regulations in the countries that we operate in.